sincerely apologize for the break in transmission. At the backdrop of the pressures from the organized labor, there are indications that the federal government would rely on borrowing to implement its plan to increase salary for federal workers in 2024. The indication emanates from details of the Budget Office of Federation BOF notes on 2024 federal government budget, where it attributed the rise in deficit to three key factors, including salary review among others. It stated high project level of fiscal deficit in the 2024 is partly attributable to the proposed salary review of federal workers across board. The estimated deficit amounting to 9.3 trillion naira according to the BOF will be funded by both domestic and external borrowing. The other key drivers of the deficit in 2024 are increased pension obligations and higher debt service costs. The planned FG deficit represents about 50% of total FGN revenues, but analysis projects a higher proportion given the current revenue constraint as well as actual performance in 2023. The federal government says it's working with the United States and the United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS and the Global Fund on initiative aimed to ensuring country ownership and sustainability of the national response to HIV/AIDS beyond 2030. The collaboration came just as the Secretary to the Government of Federation, Senator George Akume, revealed that President Tinubu's administration is committed to sustaining the initiative to treat more HIV patients annually using resources mobilized locally. The SGF, who spoke during the commemoration of World AIDS Day in Abuja on Friday, said the federal government recognized the invaluable contributions to communities in the fight against HIV/AIDS. The military high command on Friday said troops in collaboration with the operatives of the Department of State Services arrested the leader of Islamic State of West African Province terrorist group in North Central and Northwest Zone. Although the military did not identify the terrorist leader, it is said he was in custody. A statement on Friday by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said the resolve of the military to go after the leaders of the terrorist group led to the arrest of terrorist leader. He noted that air operations conducted in the region had led to the destruction of terrorist enclave. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) says it will freeze accounts without bank verification number (BVN) or national identification number (NIN) from April 2024. This is according to a Friday circular by the Apex Bank, which instructed banks to place a post-no debit restriction prevents customers from making withdrawals, transfer, or any other debit from all existing Tier 1 accounts wallet without BVN or NIN. It also said BVN or NIN attached to accounts wallet must be electronically revalidated by January 31, 2024. According to the bank, a BVN or NIN verification can be conducted shortly, adding that the move is part of its efforts to promote financial system stability and strengthening of the Know Your Customer KYC procedures in financial institutions. The bank will also carry out a comprehensive BVN and NIN audit shortly, and where breaches are identified, appropriation sanctions shall be applied. The Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Ali Ndume, has defended the rendition of the President Bola Tinubu's campaign tune at the Hallowed Chamber of the National Assembly during the presentation of 2024 budget, saying it is not a big deal. Earlier on Wednesday, during the presentations of the appropriate bill before the joint session of the National Assembly, the band delivered a rendition of the Tinubu's campaign tune as the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress (APC). Speaking on the development, Ndume said it is not really right, but equally it is not a crime. Honestly, it's not a big deal, quote and unquote. In this country, we used to pick on trivial things. Indication emerged on Friday that the National Assembly would pass the 2024 appropriation bill of 27.5 trillion naira on Tuesday, December 19th. The Senate and the House of Representatives have earlier on Friday passed the renewed whole budget for second reading. The Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barrow hinted that During the plenary, the budget might pass by the lawmakers on December 19 before embarking on their Christmas and New Year break. During deliberations on Friday, senators applauded President Bola Tinubu for his good intentions for the country, but some lamented the failure of the executive to provide the details of the budget. Members of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly on Friday unanimously elected Ladi Jato, representing Kokona West constituency, as Speaker of the House. Similarly, the position of the Deputy Speaker went to Mohammed Oyanki, member representing Doma North constituency. The newly occupied positions followed Tuesday's sack of the former Speaker Ibrahim Abdullahi at the appeal court sitting in Abuja. The Nigerian Navy says its personnel have impounded and destroyed a boat conveying drums of illegal refined automated gas oil in the seaward of the Bonny Island Channel in Rivers State. A top official of the Navy in Bonny, who did not want his name to be mentioned, disclosed to journalists on Friday, saying the boat was arrested off the River Bonny. He stated in a coordinated effort the diesel-laden boat was destroyed by men of the forward operating base Bonny, putting the estimated quantity of destroyed product up at 150,000 liters. The official further said the recent effort by the security outfit was predicated on the charge of the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, to officers and men to stamp out criminal activities in the maritime domain. With the alarming rate cases of tuberculosis increases yearly, countries have been called upon to domesticate the global campaign towards ending the scourge of tuberculosis by the year 2030. This call was made at the high-level meeting organized by the Stop TB Partnership Nigeria towards achieving the world free of tuberculosis. Global TV brings you the report.
Gathered in a high-level meeting which was organized by multiple actors including the Federal Government of Nigeria, United Nations and a host of other organizations among others, provided a forum to appraise the achievement of the fight against tuberculosis and what needs to be done towards achieving the set of goals of a world freed of tuberculosis by the year 2023. Speaking at the meeting, the Vice Chair of the Stop TB Partnership in Geneva, Austin Obiefuna, shed light on the aim of the high-level meeting.
It's for countries to go back home to understand what it is in for them for the political declaration, because the political declaration is actually a global document which is meant to be adopted by countries. And adopting it by countries means that we need to understand what are the global targets and what is the share for you in your countries. We are looking at countries now domesticating those results, those targets coming from UNHLM, and how it will help them in terms of their program.
Speaking further at the meeting, the World Health Organization Chair on Tuberculosis, Dr. Omoniyi Amos, spoke on the efforts being administered locally and globally to end tuberculosis.
The NTB strategy we are talking about was from WHO, and most of the guidelines, most of the guidance document, strategic plans, how to do it, the ideas, what is conceptualized by WHO. And at country level, in addition to helping to mobilize, helping to develop the guidelines, develop the innovations, we also support country effort to mobilize resources, especially international resources. We also help the government to track, to be able to track the indicators, the cases, and use also the data to inform decision. The target divided by state. The state will know their target. We're going to have detailed budget. We're going to know what the government is going to contribute, what the state government is going to contribute, what we are going to bring on board to be able to reach.
The overall goal of the Stop TB Partnership Nigeria is to end the global tuberculosis epidemic deaths and cases set for the year 2030. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News.
The Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disability, NCPWD, James Lalu says 35.1 million Nigerians are currently living with disabilities. He made this known during the one-day program for the issuance of permanent certificates to persons with disabilities in the Southeast held in Owerri on Friday. The NCPWD was represented by the Commission's Acting Director, Compliance and Enforcement, Ikem Uchebulam, said the figure is based on the report by the World Health Organization. To mark the pivotal impact communities have had in shaping the HIV response as well as global health at large, AIDS Healthcare Foundation AHF Nigeria commemorates the 2023 the AIDS Day in a walk in the FCT Jabi. Global TV correspondent brings you more.
In these walks are supporters from all parts of the FCT to create awareness on ending AIDS before 2030. The chairman of the House of Reps Committee on AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria, Amobi Godwin, flagged off the walk with members of the committee from the police post at the Berger bus stop under the bridge to the AHF office at Jabi. In his address at the walk-off, he declared the support and commitment of the ATMC committee to implement the progressive legislative agenda that can provide Nigeria to achieve the LDG goal to end AIDS and tuberculosis in 2030.
By the Nigerian government and her implementing partners, and by joining the civil society organization present here today, declare the support and commitment of members of the ATM committee to implement a progressive legislative agenda that Nigerians can be proud of and that is able to provide the needed operational environment towards achieving the SDG Goal 3 to end AIDS and tuberculosis by 2030.
Speaking further, the country director said,
with the message and the theme, it's not over, and also letting communities lead. This is important because worldwide we are using this day to remember those that have passed and those who are living with HIV, and all the players and donors and government who have put hands together, resources together.
Speaking on effort made towards the fight against HIV/AIDS, Dr. Benedict pleaded with global leaders to place HIV high on the health agenda to ensure that resources are available.
That is why the theme for this year, the global theme, is what? Let community lead. AHF itself, our team is not over, because we know that it's not yet over. We want to make sure by 2030 we eradicate HIV totally in Nigeria with the goals of UN/AIDS 95 strategic goals. These strategies will help everybody that is living with HIV to actually come out and be on treatment. And once you're on treatment, the chances for you to have your viral suppression done is very, very okay.
This day is set aside to remember those living with HIV and those who have lost their lives to HIV. For Global TV celebrating World AIDS Day, Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News.
In a bid to create intro-perspective analysis of the growth of pathology service in Africa, pathologists from across Africa converge on Abuja for a conference that looks to explore latest trends in modern pathology. Global TV gives you updates.
As pathology is the science of the causes and effects of diseases, especially the branch of medicine that deals with the laboratory examination of samples of body tissues for diagnostics and forensic purposes, pathologists drawn from across Africa seeking how to, among other things, make the most of latest technology in the area of personalized cancer care. But cancer treatment is one small aspect of pathology, as Minister of Health says it's particularly crucial that the country goes much further to look at the area of forensics and autopsy in solving crimes, and says the Ministry of Health is open to collaborating with the police to making it possible.
But I'm sure you heard me tell the AIG that we are looking forward to a collaboration. We do not have a collaboration, but I said we would look forward to a collaboration. As Federal Ministry of Health, under the coordinating minister, Professor Ali Mohammed Pati, and the Minister of State, Dr. Tunji Alausa, is to save life, reduce physical and financial pain, and ensure a healthy nation. Without a healthy nation, you cannot have a wealthy nation.
Chief Medical Director of Federal Medical Center, Abuja, Saad Ahmad, says embracing the latest forensic technology will be a huge milestone in the administration of justice in the country.
At the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, Faculty of Pathology, we have actually established, and is the first subspecialty training, in forensic pathology.
Poverty and less than adequate willpower by African government, a cross-section of the pathologists at the conference says, is responsible for the poor state of pathology on the continent, with Africa having a lot of catching up to do.
When we say cancer, people think that cancer is a single disease. It's not. Even if you take cancer of the breast, there are so many types of it. And even the same type, with two different people, behave differently. That is why we talk about personalized treatments.
The main issue in our practice is that we don't have all the techniques, the modern techniques to explain, to make diagnosis of disease and also to explain causes of deaths.
Nigeria's health ministry says it looks forward to collaborating with the police to develop forensic technology to the point of solving crimes in line with global best practices. Fawziya Lukman, Global TV News.
You're watching Global TV Midday News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the Midday News returns, Nigeria, Germany signs agreement to accelerate cement project power. The news continues shortly with details of these and other stories right after this short break. Please don't go away. Welcome back to Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of the midday news from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick look in business. Nigeria and Germany on Friday signed the Presidential Power Initiative Agreement to improve electricity supply in Africa's most populous nation. This was disclosed in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President, Ajuri Ngilali, saying the signing was presided over by President Bola Tinubu and the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. While the Managing Director of Nigerian Power Company, Kenny Anui, signed on Nigeria's behalf, the Managing Director of Africa Siemens, E.G. Nadia Hakkason, signed for Germany. Speaking after the signing ceremony in Dubai, Managing Director of the FGN Power Company, Kenny Au, highlighted Siemens Energy's effective delivery of crucial equipment worth over 63 million euros to the country since the project commenced. And on the foreign scene, Russia President Vladimir Putin signed a decree on Friday boosting troop numbers by 15% in a move the army said was due to threats associated with the Ukraine offensive. The move comes as both Ukraine and Russia seek to gain ground and replenish their rank in the conflict, whose front lines have barely moved in recent months. The increase in the full-time strength of the army is due to growing threats in country linked with the special military operations and the continuing expansion of NATO, the army said. It said the number of serving army soldiers will increase by some 170,000 people and that it was an adequate response to the aggressive activity of the NATO bloc. It added that it did not plan change to conscription on another mobilization drive, an unpopular measure that caused an exodus of men out of Russia last year. And in business, Governor Alex Otti has concluded plans to increase the salaries of Abia State workforce. Otti disclosed this in Umuahia during a media parley with journalists, stating that he is engaging with stakeholders to improve the minimum wage of state workers and that soonest the package will be made public. The reason for adjusting the package, he stated, was in line with the realities at hand, especially the economy, adding that the recently retired permanent secretaries and directors will receive arrears of salaries and gratuities due to them, while reassuring of his commitment to the free pension arrears in the state. The federal government, through the Nigerian Orientation Agency, has launched a compressed natural gas keke napep to cut down the high cost of transportation. The NOA, in collaboration with the Simba Group of companies and Ecomate Acres, launched the CNG keke on Friday in Abuja. The tricycle is said to consume less fuel compared to the existing tricycles that use petrol, and as such will cut down the cost of transportation to the barest minimum. Addressing journalists at the event, the Director General NOA, Lanre Isaonilu, said the project is focused on touching the lives of ordinary Nigerians, especially those living in rural areas, and consonant with the President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The DG said the federal government has established about 10,000 CNG stations across the country to ensure the availability of compressed natural gas to the users of the newly launched tricycles. He assured Nigerians that the CNG Keke Napep will drastically reduce the high cost of transportation and other similar challenges currently experienced by Nigerians. That's it on Global TV Midday News. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fauziya Lukman, thanking you so very much for watching.